You know, the last few years now, we've had some streaming applications available. We stream on Roku and Android TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire. I think I'm getting them right. And then on the mobile, you know, the apps for your mobile phones, either the Apple or the Google situation. And a lot of folks are downloading our apps so they can watch TV 52 anytime they want. Now, I meant to bring my phone just to goof off with it a little bit, although it wouldn't have been the greatest visual because you can't see anything, but it would help me to remember. But first and foremost, if you download these and you get your TV set up, if you have a smart TV, you know, they can watch Roku, or you have a Roku box or whatever. Or you have, a lot of folks have the smartphones, and all they got to do, Neil, what do they do to get connected there?
All you do is go to your app store, whichever device you have. I think it's the Google Play Store on an Android, or even on a Google phone. They have their own phones.
Okay.
Or the App Store on an iPhone is what I have. And I just search WGGN. Usually by the time you get WGG, it does the autofill for you.
It tries to do it, yeah.
But, or I've done that on the Fire Stick, same thing. But on the phone, yeah, it just pops up and then you download the app.
Yeah, WGGN.
Free, of course.
It is free. WGGN TV 52, and as you're typing it in, Neil's pointing out, a lot of times it just pops up for you. Download it, and then you have it on your phone. You can watch WGGN TV 52 anytime you want to, anywhere. So that's just a wonderful expansion of our outreach. And we have folks watching in various states across the country, and then sometimes outside the United States. So God's people are using these tools to further the cause of Christ, and they certainly complement our main broadcast outreach on WLLA and WGGN. So if you haven't already, those of you in Michigan can do this. You can download our app and watch WGGN 52 live if you want to. That's fine. But then the other options, we have the video on demand. Once our CBM worship is captured on Sunday morning, it's live every Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. And a lot of folks do tune in West Michigan, Northern Ohio, to the live broadcast. Well, that service is captured in its entirety. And sometimes at the end of the service, if you folks watch regularly, if it's myself speaking or Neil, whatever's going on in the service, we might run over. And so we try to finish up appropriately, but sometimes the sermon, you know, I need to finish some thoughts. So all of that's captured. Then it's edited, and we present it on air the following weekend on WLLA and WGGN, Sundays at 7 p.m., Wednesdays at 7 p.m. But all of those services are uploaded for access via video on demand. So once you download our app, you'll see the first thing that pops up, generally at the top of the list, is CBM worship. And the live part, you know, the option to join GGN TV 52 live, it's generally right underneath that, or maybe on a couple of the apps it might be flip-flopped. But I know on the phone it's that way. So once you get there and you say, oh, okay, I'm going to watch last week's service, or under CBM worship, you'll notice several sub-channels. So you'll see most recent, and that means exactly what it says. If you click on that sub-channel, then you'll see you can scroll down a list of services that have been the most recent, maybe the last 12 weeks or something like that. Another sub-channel, we're doing the Salvation series right now, the 17 words in the vocabulary of salvation. We're working our way through that. Well, if you've missed any of those sermons, if you go to the app, hit the sub-channel that says Salvation Series. Every one of them are just right there. From the most recent right down to election, which Neil kicked us off with a good message on election. You did a good job on that, by the way. I thought it was just good. So we're working our way through it, but that's all available. So you can go back and watch, or if there's one that blessed your heart especially, you can go back and watch it, or if you missed some. And then we have another sub-channel there called Most Watched, and you can go through the history a little bit. And then currently, we'll have to modify this along the way because we can't library everything forever. But we have 2020, 2021, and then 2022. There's sub-channels. You can click on those folders and you have all the sermons or the CBM worship hours from those years. So it's nicely organized. Now when you come to CBM today, during this summertime here, we've been catching up. We have a young man that's helping us on this, but our CBM our CBM Today broadcast, we do 2 segments. You guys are familiar with what we've been doing. First segment, we kind of do the Discerning the Times segment where we're talking about current issues. It could be prophecy or family-related issues, etc. And then the second part's our Bible study. So we divided those 2 segments. So if you go and click on CBM Today, you'll see the sub-channels. You can see Discerning the Times. When you click on that sub-channel, then you have a list. You can see during the month of July our past conversations on TikTok, or I say that to get Harold's attention, and then the other subjects we've talked about. You know, these are current events, different pieces of information you might like to have. Sometimes as folks are listening, they say, "Oh man, I'd like to hear that again." Well, they can go back, hit that sub-channel, and then you can do the Bible study. And when you get into the Bible study, you're going to see one of the sub-channels is Great Chapters of the Bible. And when you click on that sub-channel, then the whole list is there. You got Genesis 22, Exodus 12, Leviticus 17. They're all stacked and you can see them. So it's a real handy tool. You can access it nicely. And there's a few other little sub-channels in there. But Neil, I hope that folks will download this. It's just, it's kind of, how can I say this? This is the thing these days. Streaming is here to stay, and it most certainly complements broadcast, over-the-air broadcast. In many instances, some people get in the habit that's about all they do. So we want a presence there.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to use any tool that we have available, right, to spread the gospel. And we know there are many who, like you said, maybe they watch live on the weekend, but they don't catch that full sermon because we might not hit it right within the live portion. Well, they can come back and watch it, or they just want to rewatch it, or especially you think like a sermon where you're in a series and we're on the 6th or 8th one or whatever it may be. It's like, well, you might reference the old one, the one you did 3 weeks ago. Well, they could go back and see it and then catch up, and hopefully it's helpful to them. That's what we want to do. We want to encourage people and teach people the Bible.
Amen. Well, it's fantastic. And, if you have any family members that are having difficulty seeing CBM for whatever reason, if they're having trouble with their outside antenna or whatever the case might be, things change over time. You can get a simple Roku box and set it up quickly, and they can have access 24/7. And assuming they have the internet in their house, which a lot of folks do. So it's just good options, and we're excited about the reality that people can watch anywhere. It just broadens your reach. We have folks in Florida, folks in different areas of the country, and it's exciting. So it's a platform. It's a tool that can be used. We're just kind of getting our feet wet with it, and it's there. But the more we promote it, the more people find it. We can reach people in other countries, and the analytics, the feedback we get, you see it. It's like, oh, that's cool. We had 8 people watching. For whatever reason, they found us in whatever country, and it's like, wow, that's pretty interesting. And there's folks in Canada and so forth. So God's people are using these tools, and Brother White, it just seems to me, I might be wrong, you folks help me, but it just seems to me like the Lord is saturating the world with the gospel.
Right. You take our country as completely no excuse.
Amen.
Hearing about the Lord. Now, some of these countries that don't have all the convenience that we got, they may not hear about the Lord like we do. But if you stand before the Lord undone, it's not because you haven't heard the word.
Well, that's well said. May the Lord prosper the work of His church locally, across this country, around the world. There's a harvest to be gleaned, and let's keep working.